Hello guys, oh my gosh, I have never struggled so much to find my shade in a foundation in my life. So normally when I'm finding a foundation shade, I look up the foundation matches on like Foundation, the Temptalia like foundation matrix. Not really that anymore, is that still going? Mostly Foundation. Sephora even has the find your shade option. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't know about this. The foundation finder on Sephora chose me shade 2N22. First of all, why do they change the shades every time they bring out a foundation? Looking at this now, this says 2N22 and that really pisses me off because then I should have known. But under this it says Y325, which was like the old colouring, and then now it's 2N22. It had 1L01. It's just so confusing. Anyways, it said 2N22. Should I have checked my drawer and seen what this? Yes. But then I saw someone say that they were called different things, like the shades were different, and now I'm not believing them, seeing it with my own eyes. Anyway, let's pretend I didn't know that. I look at Sephora and I'm like, okay, so this is telling me I need to buy this shade. Now I know you shouldn't just judge your foundation shade off a picture, but trust me, I actually do this a lot online. I use a combination of like the foundation finder, figure out my shade, and then kind of look at the tones of the models wearing the foundation as well. And obviously it's not the perfect way to pick foundation, but I mean, I've had a pretty good track record so far. If you watch my videos, if you watch my first impressions, the shades I pick are almost always pretty good or just slightly too dark, and they do need like all that fake tan on. Regardless, even with fake tan on, I was like, that is not me. Like, come on now, people. Even though that is technically the shade I use in the other HD formula. So this is the just HD Skin, and I did do a first impression on this, and even in that first impression I said, yeah, this is like my fresh fake tan shade. I looked at this and I was like, no, I'm not getting that shade, that looks way too dark. I looked at the models and I came across like obviously the lighter shades, and I was like, okay, somewhere in the middle. Like I was looking at the shade here, 1N06, I was like, that probably, like, look, don't you reckon that looks pretty good? I've got not much fake tan on right now, if any, but still. This one I was like, that's probably a bit too yellow. And then this one over here is R undertone. I was like, probably gonna be too pinky or something. And then as it got darker, I was like, like, I feel like that could be good with fake tan on. But I was just worried, like, I couldn't figure it out, guys. Like, every time I looked at a different model, it just confused me more. Like, I looked at this one, which is a way paler shade than I ended up getting, and I feel like it's a deeper tone. But anyway, I was pretty confident in my choice and I ended up going for the 1N06, which is this color, which may or may not work. Here's a comparison, 1N06 to 2N22 from the other formula. Like, I don't know, I've never struggled at this much. But anyways, here's a comparison between the two formulas. So my first impression on this, I ended up like really liking the way it looked. I used so much product though because I was using it with a sponge. So these days when I use this, I use a brush, and I love the way it looks. It looks so beautiful. Now this one that we're reviewing today is called the HD Skin Hydra Glow. And if you know me, you know I love a glow. I have normal to drier skin. However, at the moment it's pretty normal because it is like the end of summer here, so like the cold weather hasn't got to my skin yet, you know what I mean? But I just love moisture. I always use like so many moisturizing products on my skin no matter what. I just love moisture. I love juicy plump skin. So let's quickly read up about this foundation on Sephora. I bought it off Sephora, and I don't know, if I love it I might have to buy the darker shade, and then at least that way I've got like my palest and my darkest and I can mix and match. But it was like $80, so that's why I didn't want to buy multiple shades straight off the bat. I don't know, I looked at it at first, I was like, damn it, it's so pale. But this was because before I was gonna fake tan today, so I guess we just don't fake tan and we just see how it goes. And I know I just did a foundation first impression on the House Labs foundation, which literally ended up being just so amazing. I'll link that first impression below as well as this one. You can go watch them if you want, if you're looking for a new foundation. Oh, so beautiful. I know I just did that, but I'm just really excited to try this because it's like brand new, and I literally brought it as soon as it popped up on the New Zealand Sephora website. And fair warning, so many of the shades are now sold out. Like, that was actually another issue. I went to buy a different one that was slightly darker than this, I just remembered, and it was like sold out, so I couldn't, so this is what I had to get. Anyway, it's already got like 400 reviews. How? They must be from like around the world, not just New Zealand, because we've only just got this. Oh, a lot of mixed reviews. I'm seeing a lot of mixed reviews. Okay, it says for skin types, combination dry, normal, oily, and sensitive. So everyone. Okay, and then it says, what the hell? It says the finish is matte, natural, radiant, and sheer. This foundation just wants to be everyone. I get skeptical when a foundation tries to do too many things. The coverage is medium sheer, light, and buildable. The formulation is liquid. Good, we've got that under control. And it says it's long wearing. It's also got AHAs, glycolic acid, antioxidants, hyaluronic acid. It's paraben free, sulfate free, and it's got vitamins. Okay, now we click into the information. It's a bit more honest. HD Skin Hydra Glow is ideal for dry, normal, mature, or sensitive skin. It's got 38 inclusive shades, and it offers a natural medium to buildable coverage with a radiant finish. So our skin should look like skin, but enhanced with a subtle glow that's both immediate and lasting. I do suspect like the New Zealand Sephora must only buy a few units of each shade just to see which are like the most popular shades, because New Zealand does not have a large population. There's no way we're selling out like thousands and thousands of shades in that short amount of time, surely. I could be wrong. I'm gonna prime half my face as per normal. We do this to see the difference between each side, application longevity, the finish, blah blah blah. I'm just gonna grab a random primer. I'm so excited to try this though. Like, as soon as I saw, I think I saw it on like one of those makeup launch Instagrams. This primer is the Birthday Skin Primer by Shaaanxo. Yeah, I saw it on one of those Instagrams where they talk about new launches and stuff, and immediately I was like, yeah, I'm trying that, because I don't know, I do like the HD foundation. It's just such an iconic foundation, and because it was something marketed towards like hydration glow, I was like, that's all me. I do have a suspicion though that matte skin is going to be another trend coming up, because I just feel like it's been glowy and natural for far too long. I'm waiting for that full coverage matte kind of finish to come back. Right, we're primed on that side of my face. It's a little bit mattifying, but nothing crazy. Alright, brush we're going to use, flat face brush. Now I'm going to start on the side of my face. When I use a sponge, I literally use like 10 pumps all over my face. But like I said, now I use it with a brush and I use far less. That's, I don't know if that's a full pump. I'm going to go one more. There we go. That's a full pump. So there's like almost 2 pumps on my face, but we'll just distribute this out and see how it goes. How's the colour looking? I actually think the colour's going to be good. It's not as like rosy looking as it looks on the bottle, thankfully. I feel like it's streakier than the just regular HD, like as I'm blending it, but obviously, let's give it a moment. It's going to bite me in the ass if this one's actually better applied with a sponge, like that'd be it. Yay, the colour is good though for like no fake tan on. And that's actually good, because sometimes I do just want a shade that's, you know, for me with no fake tan on, but often like I don't have anything with coverage for no fake tan. All of my coverage foundations are like for fake tan shades, and all I'll have is like, you know, serum foundations and stuff like that, like makeup, no makeup foundations for day to day if I like don't want to put on fake tan. And don't get me wrong, most of the time I have on fake tan. I'm just not blown away yet, but let's give it some time. I hope I like this. I do need some down my neck, because my neck is like paler than down here, if that makes sense. So obviously, foundation versus no foundation, there is still an improvement in how even my skin looks, but the actual texture is kind of ugly. I don't know, like the texture, obviously this has got that primer on, which helps, but like this looks nice and smooth. This looks kind of terrible. Like, look around my pores. Why does it look like that? Maybe once I set it, because I will set it, because I set all of my foundation first impressions. I don't know. I'm gonna do another pump. Yep, I got that on my t-shirt. Oh, by the way, after that House Labs video I filmed, the first impression, which I feel like that one's going better than this one, but we'll see. I did go online and purchase a couple more items, and then I was pissed because I saw that they launched blushes, like relaunched their blushes, but after I'd already bought everything and paid for the shipping. And now I'm gutted because I really want the blushes. Hopefully they come to New Zealand soon, like This looks a bit crazy. Okay, I'm just kind of tapping. It collects, like it sticks to random areas. I'm just gonna beat it in. I might try it with a sponge on the other side. Now someone asked why I don't always do half with a brush and half with a sponge, and it's just because there's too many variables between primer, no primer, sponge, brush, blah blah blah. You know, I usually try to like just stick to one application method and then try others in the future if it didn't seem to do a great job, but in this case, like, I just feel like I need to try a sponge. This looks very heavy now. Is it just my skin? I don't know. I'm interested to see it with a sponge, and I'm interested to see it on the primer to see if it's a little bit smoother looking. Do I first apply? Yes. I'm going to apply one layer with a brush first just to keep it the same, application the same, and we can see if it still looks terrible, because like I said, this primer is nice because it kind of like, it's like slightly pore filling, you know? It's very smoothing. Oh my god, shit is going everywhere. So this is just one pump. Maybe I used way too much too. Yeah, it's still like very up close. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it just really like sticks to like random bits of my face. You know what though? Was it the House Labs one that also did this, or a different one? But after it settled for like 10 minutes, it looked so good. So maybe this will be the same. Maybe I just need to give it time to like settle in. The brush is just leaving little like brush strokes. I haven't got any on my forehead yet, but let me go wet a sponge. Let's just see how it goes with different application. I've got my sponge. This side feels like, it feels ticklish because I can feel like, I don't know, I can just feel it. Like I feel like I've got hairs stuck to my face. That's one pump. Usually I apply it straight to my face, but I'm just gonna go like this. Since it is like a more moisturizing formula, like it had the hyaluronic acid and all that already. Yes, so much better. Okay, I will never use this one with a brush. So basically, brush with this one, sponge with this one. Usually it doesn't make that much of a difference, but you know, every now and then you come across a foundation and it really is picky with the application method. And that is smoothing it so much better. This sponge is just the ultra soft one from XO Beauty. I'm just adding a little bit more. I'm using less too with this. It really spreads it out better, smoother, doesn't give me that weird texture. I actually almost feel like I need to remove this side. Let's do it because it feels so heavy and gross, and I genuinely just feel like it's because we used a brush and we probably put on too much or something. I'm just going to go in with whatever's left on my sponge first. It definitely has a very solid glow. Like, you see the glow on my chin. It's such a small amount of product. Obviously, like, if you are not a fan of a glow, why are you even looking at this foundation in the first place? It is for glow. It is not matte whatsoever. It's a very beautiful, like, dewy finish, that's for sure. Yeah, it's applying so much better. Obviously you can still see the streaks, but let's just give it time to settle in. Similar coverage, but with so much less product as well, and it almost looks like wet on my skin, like it looks like skincare. So sponge, kisses for you. I literally like purposefully went in with a brush first because of the other one, like classic. Taking a second pump. This is not even a full pump, but I just don't think I'm going to need a full pump. We'll just do layer number 2. Like, it builds up very easily. You just have to take care to get rid of like any lines, because I guess it's just like that really moisturizing formula. It can leave streaks. I think with this formula there is 0 point to like buffing it in. It just kind of sits on the skin, so you just want to smooth it rather than like buff it. And it's going to be a shame because we are going to, you know, set this like I do with every other foundation review, but like that is so pretty like this if you love that like wet skin look. And do you know what, this is like one of the truest, dewiest foundation that I've ever put on my skin. Like, it genuinely looks juicy. I have to say though, I still feel like I can really feel it on my skin. It does not feel light or anything like that at all. It feels like makeup, which is totally fine because it is makeup, but I'm just letting you know because so many foundations these days feel so light on the skin, but this one feels juicy. It feels like I've just put on like a very deep, rich nighttime moisturizer or something like that. I'll see if the sensation goes away as we go. For now though, I'm just going to stop there. I think that's enough coverage. I think it looks very pretty. I think the color is good. I'm gonna quickly just pop on my concealer. And today I'm using the High Glam by Natasha Denona. This is such a good concealer. And just a fun fact, apparently someone said it's amazing with the House Labs. So if you have both of them, maybe give that combo a go. I haven't tried it yet. Hamish and I are going into town shortly. I've got to go pick him up because our car is getting a service. And while that gets a service, we're going to go look at other cars because we really want to get rid of our Range Rover because it is so inconvenient to have to take it to Wellington all the time. That's where like the Range Rover place is. We used to not care because, you know, we had all the freedom in the world, but now we have a child and that's the car we take him in because our other car is a 2-seater. And no, I don't want to get rid of the 2-seater. So we're looking for something also that has like a little bit more room if you have any suggestions. Because when we are going for trips to like the beach and stuff like that, and we've got the baby, the 2 of us, we've got the 2 dogs, the car is jam-packed. And Range Rovers, like my one, it's just the Range Rover Sport, I think it's called. They do not have a lot of space in them. So we are just always packed to the brim. So possibly something a little bit bigger, especially for when Porter starts getting a little bit older. And if we're like taking a friend somewhere, like one of his friends or one of our friends somewhere, like just for that extra space, you know, I don't know. We're just kind of gonna go have a browse. I'm gonna set under my eyes. This is the translucent setting powder from Dominique. And then just to keep this first impression in line with all of my others, to give it the same kind of treatment, we're going to use the MAC Studio Fix powder in a light layer on the rest of my face. I love this under eye powder though. Look how brightening it is. So good. Here we go. Yes, it's mattifying. But the thing is, this foundation, or this powder I should say, I love it because it adds, you know, that mattification. It sets everything so well. I love this powder. But we often see in like a few hours the natural finish of the foundation kind of peeking through. Like this powder kind of melts in, and that's why I love it for first impressions, because you know it just works with the foundation underneath to create like a different finish every time. It doesn't just like set and mattify and go really cakey and stuff. Well, when you're using it like this, you can actually make it like that if you pack it on because it's like coverage, you know, but we're just doing a nice light layer. Normally I'd use setting spray to get the desired finish like immediately to get rid of the powdery finish and everything, but I do not use setting spray in my first impressions. This is how it looks. It looks flawless. It'll look great in photography. I'll probably take some photos once I've got the rest of my makeup on. By the way, sorry for the shitty t-shirt. I literally have not even got dressed yet because I'm in a rush. Because like I said, I've got to go pick up Hamish soon. I'll come back and show you how the foundation looks with like all of my makeup on. By the way, the time is 9:40. Oh my god, I just realized I don't have my microphones plugged in. I knew it would catch me out eventually. I'm so sorry if the sound's really cooked on this video. We've got the mic. I am so angry at myself for that. So I guess now you can hear the difference between no mic and mic. I had to boost the volume before. Oh, I hope I sorted it out. Anyways, now I'm running very, very late. Hamish is literally waiting for me to pick him up and I'm not even dressed. So quick update, it's 10 past 10 now. I've just whipped on bronzer, a tiny bit of blush, lipstick, mascara, brow gel, and bronzer on my eyelids. It's not my best work, but I did not have the time today. I wish I did eyeliner. I feel like I would look nice if I just did some eyeliner, but I'm not ready for that stress. Overall, everything blended beautifully on top of the foundation. I feel like it's made my skin look very young, which we love. The lighting is shit, and it still looks beautiful, so that's a good sign. Time for an extreme close-up. So here's the unprimed side of my skin. You can definitely still see like skin texture and stuff. It still looks a little bit cakey, to be honest. Like through here it looks a little bit cakey. We'll see if it kind of settles in. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes, you know, it looks nice at the start, but it almost looks better sometimes a couple of hours in, once everything settles in and it like merges with your skin and all that crap. Look, I do have to say though, the primed side, it looks less cakey. It's just a fact. And it looks smoother, it looks nicer. This side definitely shows more texture. You can still see the glow already. Like, even though we use that powder, I still feel like my skin looks relatively glowy. Not as glowy as no powder, because it was incredibly juicy and dewy, but there's still a glow. 100% still a glow, especially in real life. Like, I can really see the glow, like, on my cheeks and everything. So I will come back in a few hours once Hamish and I are done in town, and I will do a little update. I'll try to remember to take some pictures and things just so we can see how it looks. And yeah, I do not feel pretty today, but I do think my skin, like from a distance, I think it looks so nice. It's just when I really get up close and look at like the cakiness, I'm like, oh. All right guys, we're in the car, glasses off. Oh, you see that, Ham?
What?
Where my glasses were on. That's
yeah,
terrible. It's also melting around my nose quite badly. Let me just look in the mirror. I've not looked. What's the time, Ham? 12:50 p.m. So that's 9, 10, 11, 3 hours. It's also like melting quite badly around my chin. I mean, the finish is beautiful, but the wear so far, see what I mean about the texture as well. The iPhone camera is notorious for like making your skin look worse though than it even is. So it'll be interesting to see what my skin looks like at home with my good quality camera. So I feel like this sharpens almost and makes everything look even worse. But yeah, it is hot. Me and Hamish are both hot.
20 degrees today.
Yeah, it feels hotter than that.
Oh, you were.
The sun is like hot. It's like on us.
We need to turn the aircon on.
My computer is having a full blown meltdown. Like, it's lagging. And it sounds like it's about to explode. I hope you can't hear it. Anyway, here we are. Oh, man, that is not ideal. Look at that. I have to admit, like, it's pretty normal for foundations to do that. It happens with a lot of different foundations, but it's just a very stark removal right there. And I just feel like it looks so cakey all the way down here. Forehead looks decent, but it still looks a little bit cakey through here. On the prime side, it's noticeably less cakey, but still starting to melt a little bit. Still obviously came off on the nose. This side's way more melty, which is interesting. Where it's nice, it's nice. But where it's not nice, it's really not nice. I'll update you guys later. I don't know, I'm kind of tempted to touch up this, but I'm kind of committed to wearing my glasses today, so there's probably not much point. Yeah, that, ooh, it looks bad. Let's just cover that up again. From a distance, it looks really nice, other than like this looking a bit melty through this like line I have here, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of it compared to this naturally, because same brand, same range. I just feel like this lasts nicer on my skin. And like, if I want it to glow, I use glowy primers, glowy setting mist, highlighter. Like, is it worth having the glowier formula for something that's gonna like move and melt? Like I said, it's a hot day, but I don't know. It's been on now for 8.5 hours. Let's remove the glasses. It's just gotten worse and worse. Like, that is straight up, like, that's just wiped off, and that's including where I had set under my eyes, because I always set down the side of my nose as well. Like, that's unreal. I would always have some makeup removed at this point if I was wearing glasses, but that's like, I don't know, it's just like slid straight off, and it's like separating low-key down the bottom. There we go. Look at that. Look at it on the chin. Isn't that crazy? On the prime side, it's starting to look almost just as bad. It's not as melted around the nose, but it's still bad. Like, it's still, yeah, it just doesn't look good. The forehead looks good, except it's just incredibly shiny, and I did have less product there. Prime side, like down here, looks good still, but this side, not so much. I am kind of gutted. I honestly thought that this was just going to be bomb, but where it looks good, it looks like really good, you know, but where it looks bad, it's just not a vibe. Oh, there go my glasses. By the way, I have an apron on because I'm cooking. Yeah, it's gone to the point where like, it's not just like dewy, it's like reflective, like a mirror on my chin, like this area. Like, I feel like, let's touch it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on my finger there, but obviously, you know, that's set with powder too. So imagine if you didn't set it, like, it would just transfer straight off, I feel like. And then it's like, well, okay, so should I set it extra? Should I use way more powder? Should I really pack it down, set it really well? But then it kind of defies the point of it being such a beautiful dewy finish, because you're not going to achieve that dewy finish by the time you have heaps of powder on. Will setting spray help? Possibly. I'll have to try that in an upcoming video. But yeah, as it stands, like, I'm really not that excited about it, and like the way it looks on my chin, like, it's showing up my texture even worse. You know, like when I had no makeup on, my skin looked smoother, and that's not what you want. I don't mind if my skin looks like skin. I don't mind if my skin looks the same texture-wise as without makeup, but I don't feel like when you put on your makeup it should look worse, because like that's just not the point. The point of me to wear foundation is to make me feel better about my skin, you know, not worse. Like I'm just not gonna wear it if it makes me feel worse. And this, like, I don't know, it's just wiping off. Yeah, the only places it feels like really good are where I've got like bronzer, blush and powder, so the places that are set like heaps, whereas down here it definitely has like a little bit more like, not stickiness, I don't know, you know how earlier I said it almost felt like a really rich moisturizer, like an overnight nighttime moisturizer or something? I just feel like, yeah, it kind of sits on the skin like that, and it doesn't like feel like it's set. So when it looks good, you know, but yep, that's where we're at. So I guess I will see you guys in 3 more hours, and we will, yeah, see how it looks, because that'll be like the full 12 hours. But so far, it always looks more shiny in this last update because we're using lights. It's going to reflect anything, but truly it is so shiny. Look how shiny that is, like on my mustache area. Over here it still looks nice. So yeah, where you set it thoroughly, it stays looking nice, although that did not apply for where the glasses were. But once again, you know, kind of typical when it comes to wearing glasses, right? I just feel like it did not wear well enough for long enough. I think it looked gorgeous, you know, once my makeup was all on. My skin looked youthful, it looked smooth, it looked even, it looked wonderful, but just the wear time for me is just not it. I still like this more, and that's coming from a girl that loves dewy makeup. I would rather use this with highlighter, setting spray, whatever. It's not the worst thing in the world, and I feel like it'll be nice mixed with other foundations. Am I recommending for you to go spend $80 to just mix it into other foundation? No. However, if you're gonna purchase it anyway and you want to give it a go, and who knows, I might be able to make this work. I'll experiment with it a little. If you guys have any recommendations on how I can use this, how I can apply this, any videos I should watch, let me know, because I want to make it work for me, because I've already spent the money and I do want to like it. I like the ingredients, I like the finish, I like the vibe of it. It's just like, it's, you know, I'll probably, yeah, just mix it. I might mix them together. I feel like that'd be a nice in between, who knows. Anyway, I'm excited to wash this off at this point because it's just looking all sorts of crazy. Here's up close in the dark. Hold on, maybe a little bit too dark. If you look at my skin where there's no makeup on it, it just looks fresher and nicer than the rest. Like, it just shows up the texture worse. No one wants that. It's like, I guess because it's so shiny, any little divot, any little pore, any little flake, it just like bounces light off of it. It is what it is. I'm gonna give this like a 5 out of 10. Like, I straight up do not hate it. I don't love it. It's whatever. It's not something I would like typically reach for if I was like wanting to look nice for a long period of time. I might wear it to brunch tomorrow since I'll only be gone for an hour or two. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.